Lofty timbers, the walls around are bare, echoing our laughter, as though the dead were there. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my Horror Corner. I'm Drop Dead Fred. Hope you're all having a great day, great week, and I'm very excited to be talking about this movie. Also, today just happens to be Christmas, so cheers. And happy holidays to whoever celebrating anything this season. If you're watching this out of season, then happy whatever day it is. We are looking at Todd Browning's 1931 Dracula, starring Bela fucking Lugosi. Now, Todd Browning has directed tons of other movies. I've only seen maybe one or two. He's directed Freaks, Mark of the Vampire, The Unholy Three. I mean, the list can go on. And The Unholy Three is supposed to be Lon Chaney's one and only sound film. So I really need to fucking get on that. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, you have definitely at least seen the image or some type of image, something similarly close to Bela Lugosi's Count Dracula. This motherfucker is the quintessential Dracula. And what's crazy about it is, with at least Universal, he's only played the role as Count Dracula in 2 movies. 2! That's how much of a fucking mark he's left. That he's only done 2 movies, and he is, in my opinion, the definitive Dracula. Under him, I would put Christopher Lee for sure, but on top, Bela fucking Lugosi. He was Count Dracula in this movie, and as well as Abbott and Costello Meets the Frankenstein, which was also my first Abbott and Costello movie, and holy shit, Costello! Now, he's done other movies as a vampire. He just wasn't Count Dracula in these movies, which is probably the misconception that people have, that he's in all these, like, he's played Dracula in every single vampire movie. But no, just Count Dracula 2 movies, 3 movies, I believe, where he's played a vampire or something like that. There might be more, but there's Mark of the Vampire, Return of the Vampire, and Mother Riley Meets the Vampire, which kind of sounds cool. Now, the movie stars Bela fucking Lugosi, who, this is actually my first Bela Lugosi movie. I've never really knew too much about the character or the actor. There's this little museum out here called Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. And I just happened to have went there one time on a tour, and he owns Bela Lugosi's mirror. And I will not lie, when I went in there was at least 2 rooms that I went that felt very uneasy, very odd feeling. But Bela Lugosi's was definitely one of the rooms. Looking into his mirror was just an odd experience. But it was cool that now that I'm into these movies, I'm able to say, shit, I got to look into this guy's fucking mirror. The movie also stars Helen Chandler as Mina Harker. She plays the love interest of Dracula. It also stars Edward Van Sloan as the Van Helsing character, which is probably one of my other favorites in the movie for sure. We have David Manners, who plays Jonathan Harker. And then we have my favorite character in this movie. And yeah, I know I just went on a little thing about Bela Lugosi, but holy shit, Dwight Frye as Renfield. Rats. Thousands of them. This guy did such an amazing role, from showing sane to fucking batshit insane. The movie starts off with him. He's a real estate agent, and he's going to Transylvania to go basically hustle a house to the Count. And he's very well-mannered. He's very polite, very soft-spoken. But then after he's under Dracula's spell, and Dracula uses him as a little like messenger, little lackey, whatever. There's a part where Count Dracula is headed over to London via boat, and everybody ends up being killed by Dracula. I mean, he needs to eat, I get it. When the boat finally docks and it's boarded by, people on land, and they're just like, what the hell, everybody's dead. The captain of the boat is tied to the fucking steering. I don't know what the hell that's called. And they just start hearing somebody like, start laughing, and they look down at the bottom of the ship, and it's fucking Renfield right there, just staring back at them with this. They even noted, like, look at his eyes, he's crazy. And he is, dude. The rest of the movie, he's like some fucking creepy little bug-eating, awesome fucking character that I loved. Now, just a quick synopsis if you're not too familiar with the Dracula story. This is an adaptation based off Bram Stoker. Bram Stoker's Dracula book. So the story follows Count Dracula as he ventures his way from Transylvania over to London, and in doing so, he ends up falling for this Mina Harker character, like I said, the love interest. As well, he starts kind of rampaging around the town. He kills a few people. He kills her best friend, I believe, Lucy, in the movie. Kills some little girl, not little girl, but he kills some girl at the beginning. So he's just he's just having the time of his life. He's just doing what he wants to do. That's fucking G. But he eventually stumbles across the Van Helsing character, who he even acknowledges, he even says when they meet, Van Helsing, even in the fucking regions of Transylvania, that is a name that is known. And eventually they have this kind of squaring off between good and evil. I don't want to spoil anything. This is one I'd rather not spoil for you guys because it's definitely just worth a watch. Just put everything aside. This movie came out in 1931. This is a very good production, but there are flaws. It's not necessarily perfect, but I still would give it a fucking 5 out of 5. So one of my biggest things that I absolutely enjoyed about this movie is its scenery and imagery. The first act especially, and the last act of the movie. The middle act of the movie is kind of just in a house, in a sanitarium. It's just in a room. There's never really too much things to look at. It's nice to see these homes back then. They're very fancy. But the first act of the movie, when we are in Transylvania, and we get the Renfield character, even the opening shot of the movie, of this carriage going through the mountainside, and it's just beautiful backdrop right there of the mountains, the landscape, the shot of Renfield entering Count Dracula's castle. Holy shit. It's just this wide screen, beautiful black and white shot, very gothic, atmospheric, and you just see Count Dracula descending this fucking stairway, and he's just, I am Count Dracula. And as well as the last act of the movie, when we are in London, in his house that he's purchasing in Carfax Abbey. This is just a beautiful, beautiful home. It's almost like a mini little castle or something like that. I'm not necessarily sure what this. If this is just a house, holy shit, it's huge. But it's also beat down, run down. They mentioned how it's like some old abandoned ruins now, and it's got such lovely imagery, in my opinion. Even the black and white, I think, just adds a spectacular view on it. One thing I didn't understand right here is after they kind of meet and then they start walking back upstairs, Dracula walks up the stairs with no issue at all. But then Renfield starts walking up the stairs and there's fucking tons of spider webs right there. And he has to use his cane to fucking kind of move him out the way. How the fuck did Dracula just walk? Did he just literally walk through the goddamn spider webs? Anyways, I digress. I've already mentioned Dwight Frye, but god damn, he had some awesome lines too. Flies? Flies? Poor puny things? Not when I can get nice fat spiders. And then another line that I really enjoyed is when Van Helsing is talking to the Dr. Stewart character and Jonathan Harker's there. They're having this conversation about what to do about Dracula, this and that. And Renfield is known to kind of just break out of his room, and he comes creeping in the room. He's just like, isn't this a strange conversation to be having for men who aren't crazy? Oh, I can't get enough of this guy, and I want to look more into his work, but him as Renfield was my absolutely favorite part of this movie. And this movie, there's a little comedic relief in the movie. In the beginning, we're kind of introduced to this, I think he's the head security at the sanitarium. He's Martin, played by Charles Gerard, however you say that last name. But every time he's on screen, it's just kind of funny. He interacts a lot with Renfield, having to take him from wherever he snuck out to back in his cage. The way he just talks is just this is funny. I don't know. He's got this scene near the end of the movie where Dracula is known to turn into animals. He can turn into bats. He can turn into wolves, right? So Dracula had just left the room, and Van Helsing and them are in there what the hell? What are we going to do? Blah, 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 blah. And you hear shotgun just going off outside. So everybody runs outside, and it's Martin. And he's like, it's that damn bat again, sir. And Van Helsing just your bullets aren't going to work on that Batman, so just don't even bother. Don't even worry about it. And imagine just somebody telling you, you're out there just trying to kill this animal for whatever reason, and somebody's just your bullets aren't going to work against that dog, or, your bullets aren't going to work against that bat, and what are you gonna say? He's just, okay. And that's all he says. He's like, yeah, man, all right. And the lady that he's with right next to him turns to him and is like, he's crazy. They're all crazy, except for you and me. And sometimes I have me doubts about you. And the lady's just like, yes. And he just slowly walks away. And it was just adorable, I thought. And there's also a really good scene between, there's like about, I think, 2 really good scenes between Van Helsing and the Dracula character, where they're kind of just having this little game of wit. They kind of just know about each other already, but it's kind of this unspoken vibe. And Dracula even calls him out the second time. He's like, Van Helsing, now that you know what you know, you get the fuck out of here, bro. And he tries to even like hypnotize him, and he's like, come. And Van Helsing almost starts like kind of nudging, but then he like comes back. And even Van Helsing's facial expressions really show the struggle that he's having. He's kind of shocked, like, what's overtaking my body? Why can't I fucking move? But he ends up being able to back away, which is fucking... I just thought that scene was really well done. One other thing I really liked, it's just basically... Bela Lugosi had some great lines in this movie, but one of my favorite lines in this was when he was talking to Van Helsing. And he tells Van Helsing, for someone who hasn't even lived a lifetime, you're a wise man. And this movie just really... But, like I said, it's not... I don't think it's perfect. There are flaws. It feels a little wooden, if that makes sense. A little bland at times from some of the acting. Not every character, but mostly I didn't really care for the Jonathan Harker character in this movie. I don't know. He felt very useless. I just didn't. And then when he was on, dude, I don't care about you. I do wish this was a little bit longer. It's, I think, clocking in about like an hour and 12, 13 minutes, somewhere around there. Maybe another extra like 10 or so minutes would have been good. And something I've noticed about these older classic movies is they end very abrupt. I don't know. I don't want to give it away, but I've seen some of these where they just kind of end, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's it. There's not a lot of closure too much, but that's just me nitpicking. I did see the Spanish version of this movie, which came out like they filmed this movie during the day, and Spanish production and cast and crew would come in on the same set and use it at nighttime, which was fucking awesome. But somehow the Spanish version was fucking rad. Like, holy shit. And as much as I did love fucking Bela Lugosi, the guy, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, and I unfortunately don't have it in front of me. But the guy that plays Dracula was fucking very charismatic, energetic. It's a different Dracula, I would say, but it was very entertaining. I just had a fun fucking time with the Spanish version. And it was kind of cool watching a Spanish old black and white movie. I think that was my first. All right, well, I'm going to just shut the hell up. I hope whoever's still listening, if you're here, I've noticed the retention of my audience shuts off about like 2-3 minutes into my videos. So if anybody's still listening, thank you very much. If you are enjoying this content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. You can follow me at Twitter on Fred's Corner. Not but the street corner. Anyways, happy spookies.